5 Middle Eastern countries that may betray America. The U.S. has built a complex network of relations in the Middle East. It has taken decades of work and incentives. Despite these countries' differences, it worked. The U.S. has close relations with both Israel and Qatar. It has connections in both Turkey and Iraq. This unique achievement is about to be undone. Here are 5 nations Washington can no longer rely on. 1. Saudi Arabia. The U.S.-Saudi relationship was built on oil, but the dynamic has shifted considerably. America has become the world's leading oil producer. Last year, Saudi Arabia refused to increase oil production. The U.S. needed it to mitigate the effect of sanctions on Russia. Riyadh has maintained good relations with Moscow. It hosted Chinese President Xi Jinping for bilateral talks. It held the China GCC and China Arab summits. Saudi Arabia then normalized relations with Iran under Chinese auspices. Then it went on to repair ties with Syria. On the other hand, Saudi stopped normalization talks with Israel. The Israeli-Hamas war was the last straw. All this has made Mohammed bin Salman popular with other Arab states. 2. United Arab Emirates. The UAE is one of America's crucial partners in the Gulf, but it has also cultivated closer ties with China. Abu Dhabi has improved strategic relations with Paris. They worked on engaging Iran, Russia, and India. The U.S. has 3 military bases in the UAE. An Emirati deal to buy F-35 fighters stalled in 2021. Instead, the UAE is buying aircraft from China. The Emirati and Chinese Air Forces ran joint training exercises. In 2023, the UAE allegedly agreed to share intelligence with Russia. 3. Turkey. Turkey is a NATO country, but it's no longer aligned with NATO policy. Turkish President Erdogan has become increasingly autocratic. For years, he has fomented a kind of Ottoman nationalism. After October 7th, he added Islamic fundamentalism to the mix. Turkey is cutting ties with Israel. It has remained close to Russia, deepening bilateral cooperation. Turkey pursues its own interests in the Middle East. It has occupied parts of Syria and channeled money to Hamas. Ankara stalled NATO expansion in 2022 and 2023. It refused to allow Finland and Sweden to join. This stalemate has been resolved, but the Israel war is a bigger crisis. The U.S. relies on Turkey's strategic location. Recently, a pro-Palestinian mob attacked the U.S. airbase at Incirlik. 4. Egypt. Egypt is the second largest non-NATO recipient of U.S. military aid. Cairo has also received about $30 billion in economic aid, but President al-Sisi's decade-long reign has been disastrous. Al-Sisi has transformed Egypt into a bankrupt autocracy. Of course, he has deepened ties with Moscow too. Russia is building Egypt's first nuclear power plant. Egypt wants to buy Russian military equipment. Al-Sisi even tried to supply Putin with rockets. Cairo's relations with Beijing are also stronger than ever. Egypt has rejected the U.S. plan for running Gaza. It has also refused to help remove Hamas. 5. Qatar. Qatar hosts a U.S. military command center, but at the same time, it's home to Hamas's central office. This balancing act is tough to pull off. Now Qatar may be tipping toward Iran. Hamas and Iranian leaders recently met in Doha. This was obviously approved by the authorities. Qatar has been funding Hamas at $400 million per year. Its foreign influence has grown considerably. The reason is Al Jazeera, one of the world's most watched channels. Qatar's insistence on being a global player is bad news for America. It will probably side with China in the long run.